DOJ announces intention to charge Don Lemon under the Ku Klux Klan Act. I want to remind everybody that Don Lemon is a Black man, and today is Martin Luther King Day. All right, so walk us through this. You went to Minnesota. You're an independent journalist, and you are reporting on all of these ICE protests, and you end up at a church.
I was asking people what's going on the ground, and they said, well, there's this thing happening that they've been sending out flyers for. Perhaps you want to cover this. So I said, sure. And they ended up at a church. I didn't even know they were going to a church. Now, all of a sudden, it blew up into this big thing where I am the one who is leading the protest, and somehow I'm the agitator here when I'm just the journalist.
And so this church is ICE friendly, is my understanding.
According to the group, they said that they found evidence that someone who is a pastor or registered as a pastor there is also an ICE agent or works in some capacity with ICE. And they think that if that is the case, why are you a pastor at a church if you were working as an ICE agent? That's what they went in to protest. And that's what I went in just to report on.
These are the people who feel like America is for Americans and American only. These are white nationalists. You, a gay Black journalist, are, prime bait for them to drum up these charges. DOJ announces intention to charge Don Lemon under the Ku Klux Klan.
Good morning and welcome to another edition of Let It Be Known. We're seeing the chaos continue, Niele.
Good morning and welcome to Let It Be Known. Of course, we're going to talk about the top story yesterday, which was Don Lemon, but we're going to take you to New Orleans, and we have a lot of headlines to get through, particularly with that one and the Department of Justice, not only threatening Don Lemon, but threatening those protesters, some that we've had on the show last week. I'm talking about Nikema Levy Armstrong. I'm talking about Georgia Fort. They were here. They were talking about it. They're the ones that participated in the action in that church. And now the Department of Justice is threatening them because they exercised their First Amendment right. Crazy.
Well, RNG says the U.S. Supreme Court, and he's 100% right, made it legal for ICE to go into a place of worship, so protesters have the same right. He says, I don't like either side going into a place of worship, but we are in a Trump-Crow era. Trump is trying to start a world war, a civil war, and he wants a Nobel Peace Prize. You can't make this up, is what RNG says. Yeah, it's a whole lot, and now the threat of charging these individuals, Don Lemon, and who knows, like you said, Nikema Levy and others are probably in the firing line too when it comes to Trump, who's sending paratroopers to Minneapolis, who is causing chaos around the world. It's not just here, but obviously, most importantly, it is here that he is causing this chaos.
Yeah, and let's be clear, Don Lemon is the face, right? But Don Lemon flew in and he's going to fly out. But journalists like Georgia Fort, Toussaint Morrison, I forgot to mention Toussaint, and a lot of other media groups that are doing the heavy lifting to get that story out to us every day, 24/7. Those are the ones that we should really and highly be concerned about. Because like I said, Don Lemon, he flies in and he flew out. And I believe that he might have even been tipped off about the call to action, which is fine because that's what investigative journalism is all about. However, Georgia, Toussaint, on-site media, and all those media agencies that are getting the truth out in Minneapolis are 10 times more a threat than Don Lemon.
Well, yeah, without question. And the other side of the coin with that too is the journalist you mentioned, as opposed to Don Lemon. Don Lemon is a very wealthy man. He has a very wealthy partner. Who can, and I say that to say they can fight certain battles that those on the ground, as you put it, boots on the ground on a regular basis, probably cannot.
And they're not going to get national headline. Don Lemon was on every outlet. He's going
Right.
to continue to be on every outlet this week because of that. But yet they're left there with ICE on
Right.
list,
And
people identified within ICE, right? So
Mhm.
they're on a target list. And Don Lemon is,
Yeah, listen, make no mistake. Well, I'll speak for myself. And I agree with what you're saying totally. I'm not blaming Don Lemon for his.
I'm
Yeah,
not.
yeah. No,
I'm
I'm
just
not saying.
broadening the scope
Yeah,
because
yeah.
they're getting lost in the story. That's all I'm
Right.
trying to do is amplify them.
Without question. And I was just, wanting to let people know it's not a blame game here on Don Lemon, that's for sure.
Right.
He does what he does, but you're 100% right. Remember, keep in mind, those are on the ground every day, bringing that story, risking their safety, risking their
Right.
freedom. Because they know at this point, it's not even a matter of question. It's not even a matter of thought. Once you take the position that a Georgia Fort has, that Nakima Levy and the rest have taken, you're risking your
Yeah.
freedom. You're risking
Yeah.
your freedom.
Your family, look at
Mhm.
what happened to Renee Good. She had a son, she had just dropped off, and she's just trying to be a concerned citizen and exercise, her civic duty, and so they have families, you know what I'm saying? They have livelihoods.
Mhm.
And so this is just it's bigger than Don Lemon. You know what I'm saying? It is much deeper, much sinister, and they're still planning to take over other cities. And I think, sometimes we get caught up in the headlines, and really it's deeper, and it's about the actual people that are stuck in these headlines that we're talking about.
Yeah, and a little bit more on Don Lemon. Nicki Minaj, who has absolutely lost her mind, she's lost her
Mhm.
fans, probably lost all relevancy by now. She attacked Don Lemon after he reported on the situation at that Minneapolis church with the pastor who works for ICE. She called him a homophobic slur, and Don replied by saying, "Sit down and grow some brains," calling her a political pick me after her newfound MAGA fixation. He said she's probably trying to get a pardon for her husband, an alleged sex offender. And among others, Jamel Hill weighed in with a tweet calling Nikki a quote awful person. And what at this point, this is the thing with those who decide to go on and who have decided to support MAGA and it's not even supporting MAGA, because even MAGA, that crowd that calls themselves MAGA, they, for the most part, you have your rebels and your renegades and your white supremacist wannabes. They support, but for the most part, even the people that voted for him and you put them under the umbrella of MAGA, they're not even for this stuff. But my question becomes, and my wonderment is, what possesses these people, like I'm Nicki Minaj, to go so doggone far with it. We know why you're doing this. At least we suspect we know why you're doing this. You got a husband who probably could use a pardon,
Mhm.
and you yourself is, as Don Lemon aptly pointed out, you're an undocumented immigrant who can
Mhm.
be deported. So you're looking out for yourself. But does that mean at every turn, like a Stephen A. Smith, at every turn, you gotta attack someone black who is trying to help people understand what's really going on or report what's going on? Why do you feel the need? You have made your, it's like Nelly, it's like the we talked about them yesterday, those folks who decided that this is where it's at for them. Hey, this is supposed to be America. This is supposed to be a free country and free choice. So you made your choice. But why are you going so doggone far? Is it that you really are trying to make an impression on Donald Trump?
Well, I think I'm gonna say something like Forrest Gump may have said. Life, life is like a movie, and everybody plays their part.
I thought you were gonna say it's like a box of Cracker Jacks.
But
Yes.
Mike V said Don Lemon is just as a warning to the black press that if you get in their way, they will come for you too. Well, I'll say this:
Absolutely.
I'm sure You know, Stacy as well as Greer can talk a lot about how they've already came for the Black press, number one. And number two, they already have, you know what I'm saying? Like I was saying in Minneapolis, they're already been attacking those journalists that are boots on the ground. People are just now seeing the effects because of Don Lemon. So, I mean, I think it's good that he's amplifying it, but I mean, it is just horrible, you know, to what they're doing to Black press, period. And did when he first came back with the whole DEI. DEI is why the reason why some Black papers are beginning to close or on the verge of closing, because they don't have the funding because of DEI. So he already started with that.
Oh, okay. Wait. Yeah, that is the tweet from Nicki Minaj. And it's, you know, it just makes no sense. He wasn't talking about your music or lack of. He wasn't talking about you. He's doing his job. He's earning his, you know, he's earning his money, doing his job, informing people or trying to inform people. And you come out of the, you know, the basement somewhere, wherever you've been, and attack the man. You know, whether he's gay or not has nothing to do. It's like the clip we showed. You're a Black gay man. What the heck does his sexuality have to do with anything right now? You know, we know that they're against. We know that the Trump clan is against. They say they're against homosexuality, but I guess they are. They're just not against pedophilia. But the thing is, you bring up the man's sexuality, and it's just crazy. Why does he say, does Don Lemon go on and say Nicki Minaj that heterosexual? No, he just says Nicki Minaj, and he only said your name because you attacked him. That's it. That's how irrelevant you've become.
Right. Yeah,
it's ridiculous. Sean Day says all skin folks and Kim folks, Nikki and the like, think they are above the average individual. She should be deported. And Dr. Marilyn, yeah, it was just, you know, disgusting. U.S. Trump supporter, it's okay. That's what you want to be. Nobody can argue with someone who chooses a well, Democrat, Republican, whatever. You're free to choose. But why are you doing extra? You know, it's always the little N word that got to do the extra.
Well, maybe Trump. Well, maybe the Trump admin called her and told her to do it. Maybe they called her and told her to do it because you know she got something going on we don't know about. Maybe they said release the dogs.
Release the dogs, and the dog came out.
And the dog came out. Yeah. You know, but like she always picks the right ones. I mean, she picked Cardi B, and Cardi B put her in her place, and she kind of backed down. And yesterday, Don put her in her place. So she picked the right one yesterday.
Yeah, that's a good question, RNG. I haven't seen Niele Nikki's name pop up on that Black MAGA music tour.
You know, they could be holding out. You know, I'm still thinking that she may perform at the halftime show. Remember, MAGA is supposed to be putting on a concert to counter Bad Boy Bunny. So I'm thinking she might be the headliner for that. You know, I mean, I hear you, but I'm not trying to put throw out a lifesaver for Nikki. You know, she's picked her side, and you know that's just what it is now. And like I said, she picked the right one. I mean, let her go. We don't need her. Let her go. Bye. Bye, Felicia.
Bye, Felicia. One of the best stories I've heard in a long time. Someone told me yesterday that a MAGA supporter needed to pay some bills and don't have the money, and called that individual up and asked them for a loan, and he was told to go ask his daddy Trump.
You know, I mean, and you know that, I mean, you know, just go ask them.
Go ask his daddy Trump. As Greer would say, and in the case of this individual, even though this individual doesn't want to claim whiteness, but as Greer would say, he can go use his white privilege. And if he used up his white privilege, too bad. You know, just really brief, just to go along with what we're talking about. The root has a funny story that you guys can check out. It's a list of Black entertainers who are publicly supporting Donald Trump, from Kanye West to Aziella Banks to Waka Flocka, Flame, Sexy Red, and of course Nicki Minaj. Check it out on the Root.
I thought
The
Sexy
Root
Red
does some
had got her.
funny stuff.
I thought the Sexy Red had got her sins back in. She
Listen,
had
I
came
thought
back
so
over
too.
to Kamala when Kamala was running. I
I
don't know.
thought
I
she
can't
switched
keep
up
up.
too.
But they, I don't look for them for nothing. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And I hope that, the Gen Zs and the millennials are beginning to realize that you don't listen to them. Don't listen to nobody. Look at your checking account. Look at what's going on around you, and let that be your determining factor of what's right and wrong, not
I
what
got
they
it. The checking account. Niele, mine is getting kind of low.
say. Mine is too. Hey, I'm on the right side. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that I'm a double down Democrat. I have big issues with them. But if I'm going to pick a side right now, I'm surely not picking the MAGA side. That's all I'm saying.
I'm picking the Lord.
Oh, well, I'm picking the side. Well, I mean, I think for me,
Oh,
yeah, I mean, I think we all pick the Lord, but we're talking about in reality living right now, living in the times we living in,
hey,
as
it's
we
reality.
breathe, as we breathe. I'm picking the side that is non-KKK, that is
Mike V.
non-white supremacist, that is non-systemically
Listen,
racial.
that's the Lord.
I'm picking the Democrats.
Oh my gosh.
Stacy's picking the Lord.
The Lord.
And
the
I
Lord.
think, yeah, the Lord. Oh, in the words of Tyler Perry, the Lord.
The Lord. That's what I'm picking. Niele, Mike V says you can apply for SNAP benefits too. Mike V, why are you singling Niele out?
Because I have, and I didn't qualify. I
What?
thought I qualified
They
too,
turned you
Mike.
down?
They turned me down. I thought I
Dang on
qualified
it.
too. And
Yeah.
see, that is the shame that most people have that I don't. And
Right.
a lot of
Let me
other
tell you something. I'll
people
take a SNAP
don't.
check in a moment.
And a lot of people have, and they just not saying, and that is okay too. But they
Yeah.
make it so hard, because as a small business owner, I struggle. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Every day is not a day in the park. But
Mhm.
like we were talking about what the Lord said yesterday in Proverbs, eat, drink, and be merry, for this is your lot in life. And I can say that life is sufficient. It may not always be easy, but thanks to the good Lord, it has been,
You
better.
can't always have your chitlins, huh?
No, you only have those once a year. It's
Oh, just
Christmas
once a
time.
year. That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Oh, I had some
In
rice and
California.
beans the other day that you were talking about. Well, it wasn't black eyed peas actually.
Red
It was
beans and rice.
red beans. Oh my gosh, it was so good. It had some gravy on it.
Delicious.
Oh my goodness, Nia. I
It's
thought
not
about
a
it.
gravy. It's
But
a
I thought
roux.
I
It's a
thought I, but I
roux. It's a
forgot, right.
roux, Stacy. It's a roux.
Okay, it's a rule. But I forgot that I was thinking, but I remembered you said it was black eyed peas, so it wasn't black eyed peas. But I
Right.
thought about you because I thought
Right.
that was
No,
the dish you were talking about.
no. And speaking of red beans and rice, let's head to one of our
Oh
all-star
yes.
viewers. Who we talk about, Orange G. Let's head to New Orleans. Let's go
Yes.
to New Orleans. It's Mardi Gras time.
Mardi Gras.
And the new mayor has gotten off to a rocky start. I'm talking about Helena Moreno. Now, a couple of things happened, Stacy. So last week she couldn't get into her social media, and her team blamed the mayor Cottrell for it. Right? The mayor got the mayor, her team. So an email came out, and it showed the emails passwords have been passed on to Moreno's staff. However, if you know Instagram and social media, there's a two-way authentication, which you have to call a phone. Now, apparently, that phone was a city phone that was turned in. And so that was the first fiasco, right? Tell me when I'm wrong, Orangey.
Oh my gosh.
So this week she says, I'm in. So she's finally got into her social media. Then one of her staff members put out that DJs for Mardi Gras at a certain venue that I guess she's responsible for, paying for the festivities, that they were asking DJs to volunteer. So the DJs took the social media and was like, excuse me. So then, now that she's into her new account, she came on and said, I love DJs. Oh no, that's a mix-up. So now she's gonna pay the DJs. And then unfortunately, if that wasn't enough, Bywater residents right now they're bewildered, they're disturbed and on alert after cars and a duplex was set on fire. I think this was Sunday night, in a string of arsons. So then a string of arsons broke out. And all this is just in time for Mardi Gras.
RNG says, I told you all, Helena Moreno is a Dixiecrat. She has no idea about the culture of New Orleans.
I told you no lies. Let it be known.
Oh my gosh. Wait a minute. Time out, Niele. Look what Dr. Marilyn just asked. He says, wasn't she sleeping with the help?
Oh, I don't know. I don't see. I
ain't one to gossip, but you ain't heard it from me.
Orangey.
Orangey, what's the deal with that? Oh my gosh.
But at the same time, she seems to be liked by a lot of the Black constituents of New Orleans, you know, or those are the videos that I see. I know
propaganda.
She was just with Big Frida and Don Lemon on New Year's Eve. And so, you know, I mean, I don't know, but she is getting off to a rocky start, New Orleans in the Big Easy. And she's a former city council member too.
I need some confirmation on what Dr. I want to know, was it the Black Butler? That's terrible. Oh my God. So the mayor comes in with some scandal. You gotta love a mayor who comes in with, oh, she said not her. Who are we talking about there, Dr. Marilyn?
Shonda says New Orleans Metro has a budget deficit they're dealing with. Ongoing. Mayor Cantrell took those inaugural drops down due to cost.
Oh, Dr. Marilyn said the Black lady she was talking about.
Oh, okay.
The former mayor?
Yeah.
Oh, daggone it.
Cantrell. And then Orangey says she isn't liked by the majority of Black people, and she is a switch hitter. She goes both. Okay, what's the next story? We'll keep you posted. As Mardi Gras progresses, so will we. We're going to be tapping in with the Big Easy a lot to find out the news and the festivities. There we go.
All right. Moving on. Donald Trump's top aide, you know who we're talking about, Stephen Miller, shockingly declared that local and state law enforcement have been ordered to, quote, stand down and surrender as anti-ICE protests continue to grip Minneapolis and Minnesota as a whole, but in other states. So he is telling law enforcement and local authorities to stand down and surrender. This is, folks, this is straight out of the Nazi playbook. Straight. I mean, this is, forget Project 2025. This is what 1930 something Germany.
It's all of the above.
Yeah, it's all of the above. And you know what? Speaking of Project 2025, as a side note, there's some crumbling going on there. 60 top people over there just walked away, according to reports from the New York Times and News Nation. Yeah.
Good. Yay. Let's go. Let it crumble. Let it crumble from within. Give us that thing we wasn't looking for. We'd be like, what?
Yeah.
Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes.
Let's check out this video that Greer has for us from Representative Clyburn. Well, maybe she doesn't have it at this moment. She and by the way, Dr. Marilyn was talking about Cantrell sleeping with her security detail. Oh, like the bodyguard, huh?
I hear a Lifetime movie. Let's get a Lifetime movie. But no, I think that, you know, it's Germany. I also think, you know, this country, policing derives from slave catching. Let's not forget that. And so, like I say, it's a mixture of all of it, Stacy. And it is just unbelievable that, you know, we've come so far, but yet within 60 days, I mean, within 12 months, it can all go away. We're ready, Greg.
one point in the book, the MAGA Republicans and their supporters who want to make America great again want to be remaking it in the image of the antebellum era. I just want to be clear. Are you saying you think they want to reinstate slavery?
No. They wish to get us back as close to slavery as they can possibly get us to without violating, because the Constitution, they can't do it.
Uh-huh.
Jim Crow?
Uh-huh.
Yes.
So you think they would reinstitute Jim Crow?
Absolutely. And I think the Supreme Court is well on the way to doing that. Remember, all of this started with a Supreme Court decision called Dred Scott. That's what defined and laid the foundation for all of this stuff. And then we got another case called Plessy versus Ferguson that's established separate and equal.
Well, and of course, the Supreme Court during Reconstruction overturned the Civil Rights Act.
Yes. The Supreme Court did. The Civil Rights Act was overturned by the United States Supreme Court. And what has just happened with the 1965 Voting Rights Act? The first, they're doing it a little more sophisticated, but they're doing that. This Supreme Court is overturning the Voting Rights Act.
To be really clear, your view is the MAGA Republicans are explicitly racist and want to turn the country back towards a time that approaches Jim Crow, if not achieving it.
I don't know that I would call all MAGA Republicans that. I'm very circumspect about using the term. They are racist. I don't put that label on any one person, but I know what the word means. It's sitting there in the dictionary for anybody to understand it. They are white supremacists, and there are people who are supporters of this president who admit to me that they are white supremacists. I've had people who support this president tell me that they thought that slavery was a good thing. And really, for us to deny that this exists, I don't know why we would do that.
You've had people tell you who support this president that they thought slavery was a good thing.
Absolutely. Right to my teeth.
Listen, and like you said, the president himself told him. The president himself.
Yeah.
So it's like why are people trying to, some people, not all, some people are trying to deny it. You know, and the media is complicit as well. You know, the Supreme Court, he mentioned Supreme Court, mainstream media is very complicit in all of this.
Well, like I said before, the video slave catching, we were talking about policing and law enforcement from Stephen Miller. Policing comes from slave catching, you know, and I don't think a lot of people realize that. Our crew is savvy enough to know this, but a lot of people don't know that, and the black codes. And so when he talked about Jim Crow, Dred Scott, all of these things make up everything that they're doing in that White House.
Yeah, and somebody mentions that Biden was friends with the leader of the KKK and black.
He could have been.
He probably was. There's no doubt about it. Biden is also right. Biden was also the author of that horrible bill, the crime bill.
We forgave him. We forgave him. Okay.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing about forgiveness and all that. And you said we forgave him, and it's true. But there was what is it? It's acts of contrition, right? Which that president did show in his term. He showed acts of contrition, some serious acts of contrition. So you know, you can hold that against him. That's fine. That's your right to hold it against him still. But then when you look at what others are doing and not want to hold them accountable and say, well, that guy did, to me, that's just craziness. That's crazy talk.
Yeah, and Donald Trump is living up to who he was. He was the person.
You got other presidents doing something before your very eyes.
But Donald Trump is the person who he's always been. He's been the son of a KKK Klansman who disenfranchised Black people in apartment buildings, and he's the same man who tried to put the exonerated 5, under the bus with that full-page ad. He is the same racist he has always been. He just suppressed it to be in the mix. in the elite mix, in the Hollywood mix,
Right.
but he is living up to the person him and his daddy raised him to be, always was.
There it is. I mean, there's no, yeah, it's just ridiculous. And Clyburn mentioned that when she asked him about slavery, he said he doesn't think
As close, he said, as
they
far
want to go
back
that far.
as
They
possible. Yeah,
just want
as
to get to
close
Jim
as
Crow. I
possible.
disagree. I think if they could get it, yeah, he said as close as possible. But I think that if they get that
They could
close,
go all the way.
they're going all
They
the way.
going.
They're not going to
Yeah.
stop.
And then I think he brought up another great point that people didn't realize is that the
Well, what he
Supreme Court,
said
no, but
too
what I
was
was
that the
saying, he
Constitution, they don't care about the
overtoned.
Constitution. They have
I-
ignored the Constitution.
But what he also said is he was like, we had civil rights before, and the Supreme Court overturned it. That was before 1964.
Mhm.
That was before 1964. We had civil rights, and the Supreme Court overturned it. And he said, if you look at what they did with the civil rights vote, with the Voting Rights Act of 65, they're doing it again.
Yeah. I listen. And somebody mentioned that Trump was a Democrat before, though. What does that have to do with anything? I mean, that's what some
It's
of
the
you ones
same
were.
thing with Biden. But it's the same point as Biden. Biden was the friends with the
Right.
KKK. Biden, but he changed. What did you say? Acts of contrition. Okay, so Donald Trump was a Republican. Now he's really leaning into his Klan.
It doesn't matter what party. I mean, listen, there are racists in both parties. There are
Right.
racists in all the parties that have come up. Tea parties. There's racism everywhere. It's shoot, there's some black caucus members who might be racist.
Right.
And so as Uriah says, we've had 3 blacks on that bench, and they still are overturning civil rights. True.
Right.
And he's asking, can Trump change? That's a good question.
I don't think he has enough. No, he
wait.
doesn't have enough life in him. to change.
Here's the thing. Anybody can change if they want to. Donald Trump said about a month ago, his own words, just to answer this guy's question with Donald Trump's words, he said there is no need to, because he said his own words was he doesn't expect to go to heaven. He says, I'm going to hell. He said,
Yeah.
so I'm not.
He doesn't
Why
have enough
change?
life. He doesn't have enough life left to change.
But his
He don't
own
have
words
enough
told
time.
you he's not. He has no intentions.
Yeah, he did say that, but he doesn't have enough time to right all his wrongs either. That part, he don't have enough time to right them.
Yeah, so
It would have to
Yeah,
be a
yeah.
miracle from the good Lord for him to overturn all his wrongs.
well, yeah. Well, I'm gonna tell you, Niele, I disagree a little bit. I think that if he wanted to, he could make a change. But he doesn't. He has no desire to be a good person. He has no desire to be a good person.
Right.
He doesn't like anyone, and nobody likes him until and unless he's making sure that they get a check. And that's just the way it is. That's not real liking or real love, as Mary J. Blige said. So so he is who he is. So folks, income tax season is well underway, and the first day that the IRS is going to accept income tax filings is next Monday. And economists say that this administration's new tax law delivers its largest benefits, of course, to billionaires, while raising taxes or providing little relief for low-income households, with Black families disproportionately affected. There's analysis from the Institute on Taxation and Economic Policy, which show that the poorest 40% of Americans will pay more under the law, while the top 1% receives more benefits than the bottom 80% combined, which is really, really crazy, Niele. To have the bottom 80% well, they have the bottom 80% combined. Oh my gosh, paying all of the taxes for the 1%.
Yeah. Yeah, it I'm just wondering who's working in the IRS these days because he let all the federal workers go. So who's actually doing the work? And will they have time to process? Like, who's answering the phone? Like, what's going on in the IRS to even make sure? I mean, I know that he gonna make sure the 1%, you know, gets what they get, but who's gonna have time to do all this?
Yeah. Listen, just I'm gonna respond one more time. This individual says he challenged you to show where in the Bible they talk about anyone going to hell. I didn't say that. First of all, it does describe hell as mankind's common grave, but Trump said that, not me. I didn't say that, but nonetheless,
That's
going
a
back
great point, Stacy. Trump said it. Ask him.
Trump said it. Right. You gotta ask Trump. Right. You gotta.
And you know, if you
definitely.
go on Truth Social, he might answer you.
He may
Do it
very well
about, but
answer.
do it about 1 o'clock in the morning.
There you go.
1 or 2 o'clock
One
in
or
the
two
morning,
o'clock.
and you
There
just
you
like
go.
an answer.
There you go.
He got time.
He got time at that time, right? Oh my! You remember his first term? They were saying they were trying to keep him off social media. Now there's like no
They
restraints
don't
whatsoever.
care. That you
Yeah.
know what? That keeps him occupied while they do their clan
There
stuff.
you go. Oh gosh. Well, file
Let's
your
get
taxes, folks. And remember the
yeah, for
deadline is
sure.
April 15th. So file your taxes. Hopefully you find a way to get a good refund. So
Yeah, and we'll keep you posted because we're sure that something's gonna happen in that IRS building. Something gonna happen. So we're gonna be monitoring tax season to see how it goes. Okay. Let's head to Mississippi, where Mississippi state lawmakers, and I'm talking about the Legislative Black Caucus, have filed legislation to create a state level version of the Voting Rights Act. Now, the bill would be named the Robert G. Clark Jr. Voting Rights Act in honor of Clark, who in 1967 became the first Black Mississippian elected to the state legislature in the modern era. Now, the documents were filed symbolically on Dr. King's birthday. And, you know, we see a flip now. You know, it was a push for civil rights on a federal level because the states wasn't doing the right thing. Now you see a flip of the states trying everything they can to protect civil rights on the state level because they can't trust the federal government.
well, it's like what you've been saying that these things are going to have to happen on the state and local level.
Yeah, I mean, and who knows what'll happen with this, but the fact that, you know, like Dr. King and the civil rights movement, no matter what the odds are against you, you still got to push forward. And so that's what's happening in Mississippi, and then we'll head to New York, where New York Mayor Zohran Mamdani is facing criticism for having no Black deputy mayors. Now, the early criticism is still developing, and it comes after Black voters played a key role, of course, in New York's mayor and his victory. Now, Mark Morial, president of the National Urban League, told the New York Times, "I don't care whether the mayor is Black, white, Asian, or Latino. You need a leadership team that mirrors the city." And L. Joy Williams, who's the head of the state's NAACP, stated, "It is clear from the lack of conversation and engagement that there doesn't seem to be a lot of focus and attention on the needs of Black New Yorkers in the city." Now, those are two huge comments coming from two legacy organizations. However, a spokesperson from Mamdani pushed back against some of those criticisms in this New York Times piece of Mamdani's lack of Black appointments, noting that among overall appointees throughout the administration, including the commissioners, director positions, several were Black and Latino. So everybody giving Mamdani a side eye.
Well, here's the thing. It did say that he was still bringing people into the cabinet, but the one statement I agree with there is that New York leadership should look like New York. And so if there are qualified African Americans, then Mamdani is either it's a unintentional oversight, or he is really doing a disservice to New York.
Well, we'll
It's
see.
one or the other.
Yeah. we'll see. We'll see if he even hears the people. So you've heard from the NAACP leadership. You've heard from the Urban League leadership.
Yep.
Let's see what his response will be. His response will be nothing, or he'll say, New Yorkers, I hear you. My bad. And that's always good, right? We were just talking
It
about
is. He seems like, I'm sorry, but he seems like, I don't know him personally, but everything I've seen of this guy, he seems like the type that would say, "Oh, my bad. Let me fix
right.
that."
Or maybe he thought that putting what's my son. So my son is the co-host of TMI with Tamika Mallory, and he's a co-founder of Until Freedom. He put my son, I think it's my son the general, on his community board of, you know, yeah, I don't want to say the community board of the hood, but he put him on.
Alrighty then.
But you know, he put him on a commission where it dealt with you know, the neighborhood, so to say. I can't think of it, but
Well,
I mean,
you as you were saying that, it seems so interesting. You and Mikey seem to be on the same page quite a lot, or you guys go opposite. But he's, as you were saying that, he had wrote in that he did have my son as part of his transition team.
yeah.
And Aquarius says, didn't Mandami hire a black woman in a position? He has black people in his cabinet. They're talking
About
specifically
deputy
deputy
mayor.
mayors.
Deputy mayors,
Is what
which
they're
hold
talking about.
which hold high positions, and they actually, you know, contribute to a lot of the decisions that the mayor makes based upon, you know, where they serve. And like you say, I'm not familiar with New York, but what are the black communities or bureaus in New York? That if he was to place a deputy, where should he place the deputy? Greer, you can chime in on this too, because I don't think a lot of us know.
Yeah, well, the first response from many would be Harlem, but Harlem is no longer predominantly black. So gentrification, can you say gentrification? But there are a lot of
What about Brooklyn?
Brooklyn. There are parts of Brooklyn. Black folks probably, Greer, maybe you do have a better idea, but probably I would say 45%. I would go as high as 45% of New Yorkers, New York City people are black. So there's a lot of areas, if my calculation is right.
Yeah, I don't know if that number is probably correct, because you got to remember that the black people that make up New York City are coming from the Caribbean and other places, you know, around the world, right? But all boroughs at this point have been gentrified, you know. You know, neighborhoods that were like in Bed-Stuy, that have been historically black, you know, have been gentrified. They do it for Green, right? For Green Project, you know what I'm saying? Gentrify. And what they do is they move like you know, like how it works, you know, in New York, they move the line. So like now, like Bed-Stuy used to be parts of Bed, like it's Bed-Stuy East, or now it's Williamsburg, and you know what I mean? Like that. They changed the names. But anyway, but it doesn't matter. You know what I mean?
Well, here, Greer,
regardless if they,
just a point of clarification: the 2020 census showed 2 million black residents or African American residents in New York City, and they said that makes up about 23%, not 45, but 23% of the population of New York City.
Yeah, well, you know, we the ones that's always outside. But
we outside.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think that with the things that are happening right now in terms of the cost of housing, I mean, it impacts everybody, but it certainly impacts Black and brown people in, you know, in these cities, right? And and so and Black people feel like they're being pushed out as usual, right? Black and brown people. Well, I know what's happening I have a couple of friends who are involved in movements in Brooklyn, you know, about this gentrification thing. You know, my whole neighborhood, you know, in Fort Greene. Listen, we used to have block parties. Spooks was everywhere. I'm sorry. We was everywhere.
What? You and Niele, wait a minute now. Spooks
if
and,
you go-
and hers words.
to a-
What did
right,
I say?
No, you
but
know your words for white folks.
Oh.
but if you go to, but the average, like, block party, house music, I mean, when I see the videos, I'm heartbroken.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? I'm heartbroken by that, right?
Right.
And so I
So
mean,
does Mandami have a point? You said you're heartbroken. You don't see us as much. So does he have a point for not having a black mayor
no,
deputy yet?
absolutely not, because I think that Black people still play a significant role in the culture, right?
Mhm.
And even just like establishing the culture in New York City, right? Now, granted, a lot of those people come from other places, but no, I think it's just as important to have it's very important for New York City to have a diverse leadership, because it's a diverse city. Like I said, people are coming from all over the world to live there.
Right.
And mind you,
What?
the a lot of people, especially Black people, young Black people that move there, they might be living there, but so I wonder if their numbers are being counted, because some of them are not voting in that city. Maybe they're still voting back home.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
that's true. RNG says, I'm giving Mandami the side eye, just like I am constantly giving Helena Moreno the side eye, and my eyes are cocked like a pistol when it comes to the administration. And Patricia Jackson says, let's see if he's true to call, if he makes life better for all New York, great. But this happens a lot.
Yeah. But we'll monitor and see what happens in New York, and we'll get my son's correct title and let you know.
Yeah, not the what do you call him, chairman of the hood or something like that.
Now, let's talk about these Epstein files. According to a
Oh, here we
new
go.
CNN poll, just 6% of Americans said they're satisfied with what the federal government has released so far in the case of Jeffrey Epstein. Now, the DOJ earlier this month signaled that it had released less than 1% of its Epstein-related files. So, with everything that's been thrown at us, does America still even care about the Epstein files? Well, clearly they do, according to the poll.
Clearly. But I think the other part of it, certainly it was pretty obvious. When they accidentally put out the real stuff on
especially
including the president, they like, listen, y'all better get
brakes.
this together.
Pump your brakes, okay? And I think that's a key point to realize, is that you can't release the files without talking about Donald Trump. You can't release them without him being in one in every 3 pages.
Yeah,
maybe one in every 5 pages. No, and think about it. There's over 1 million pages.
Right.
And
but when you hear the stories, though,
in one in every 5, that's a lot of pages.
That's a whole lot of pages. And when you hear the stories that, so let me couch it. Maybe all the stories that we're hearing are not true. But there's been no pushback to say they're not true, right? So when you hear the many stories, you're 1 in 5. That's a lot. But I think your initial 1 in 3 might be closer to the truth. Right.
Whoa.
I have to say that I think that Donald Trump and the administration have been successful, right, with wearing us out with this Epstein shit. I'm sorry, right? So it doesn't matter what we see and what, it doesn't matter, right? Because it's like urban legend at this point. They warn us out. And I don't think that whatever's revealed in these files, no matter what, if they found Donald Trump, in an orgy with 5 6-year-olds, that it would change the damn thing. Pictures, I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it would change a damn thing. I think they have worn us out and worn the public out about the mystery of this story and Donald Trump being in this. It doesn't change anything.
Yeah,
which is unfortunate.
it is very, yeah, and you know what was going in my mind as she was talking. This is a man's world.
Well, what makes it
going through
really
my mind.
what makes it really unfortunate is that there are victims. They are victims, and
And that's what I mean by this is the man's world, you know,
yeah.
as a woman.
Well,
And
the
it
whole
makes
Me
me
Too
feel that
movement.
way.
Then that's another issue. It's like, where are the Me Too folks? Where
Oh,
are
they got caught. They got caught taking
okay?
more in their executive expenses and admin expenses than they were doing the work.
Yeah.
And so they kind of fizzled
Mhm.
out. That fizzled
And
out.
time out. What happened to time out? Well, and all these, folks, Gloria Allreds of the world, who decided that every
Greer said it.
black
We're
male.
exhausted. They tried. Greer said
Well,
it.
what
We
I'm
are
saying is
exhausted.
that we're exhausted, yes. But what I'm saying is that the Gloria Allreds and the Lisa Blooms of the world, who made a career going after black men who allegedly essayed somebody, where are they? Why these lawyers that made all this money off the backs of and the incarcerations and the allegations leveled against black men? Where are you on these Epstein victims?
And
Why
be
are they
clear.
getting
No, but
no light?
be clear, Stacy. The women are still talking, and they are still talking, but their voices are being suppressed.
Right.
You know,
But to
it's
my
like.
point,
But what I'm saying is,
right.
you're saying, wait, are there? You know, Donald Trump has the media in his hand, and I think that also goes back to what Greer is saying about they keep exhausting us. They are suppressing a lot of voices that could speak up. But I'm gonna tell you what they can't suppress is when these hearings come up with Epstein's lawyer, his friends, that journalist, that both sides, Republicans and Democrats, subpoenaed. I think it was right before the end of the year. Those committee hearings are coming up, and sometimes when you hear it, it might make a difference and spark something. But they are talking. I mean, I see a lot of them on TikTok all the time, but for whatever reason, their stories aren't being amplified.
Yeah. All right, folks. Which you wouldn't believe the size of this family. Margie, an 84-year-old African American grandmother from Oakland, was a child bride at 14, and now she has a sprawling family that includes 150 grandchildren, 50 great grandchildren, and 50 great great grandchildren. Her legacy stretches across 5 generations, and it continues to grow. She was born in Amarillo, Texas, and she had 5 children before turning 21, and eventually gave birth to 8 children, 7 of whom survived into adulthood. But they have left, those who have left and those who remain with this 84-year-old grandmother has left 150 grandchildren, 50 great grandchildren, and 50 great great grandchildren. That is some posse.
Right?
How
many kids did she have? She only
She
had
had a
kids?
she had a total of
And
was it
5 kids?
8 children.
Oh, 8
She had 8
children.
children
8
altogether.
children.
Yeah.
Wow,
And
that's amazing.
it is amazing. 150 grandchildren. 150. 50 great grandchildren and 50 great great grandchildren.
And see, I think this is part of what, the white man did to us. You know what I'm saying? Like, this was the normal. That's why I was saying Beyonce, I mean, not Beyonce, Beyonce too, but Rihanna, have a tribe, build generational wealth. Can you imagine if this family had generational wealth? Let's do it. Let's change the trajectory. I think this is beautiful. Now, 14, you see, she 84. I mean, this time, nothing new under the sun, as we see. She was 14.
Unbelievable. That is, I guess Jennifer Hudson had them on her show. That is like, wow. When I saw the number, first of all, when I saw 150 grandchildren, I'm like, wait a minute now. This lady, she's probably 100 and something herself. No, she's 84. She started early.
I
But
think it's beautiful.
yeah, well, and I guess look at that. Oh my gosh. And just what's that, like 10, 12 of them right there? And so
Mhm.
imagine all of them in the same room. Man, the family reunions have to be amazing. They
Right.
they gotta rent Madison Square Garden for their family.
That's
Oh,
nice.
man.
You know,
Yeah.
that's nice. I mean, you know, it's horrible, that 14, especially in today's time, how we look at that age. But at the same time, she looked like, she's okay with her life and her offsprings.
Mhm.
I'm on Jennifer Hudson showing my legacy. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
All right. And speaking of family matters, Jay-Z has won $119,000 judgment against the godmother of Ramir Satterwhite, who claimed that's the gentleman that claimed to be Jay-Z's son. Now, according to All Hip Hop, a federal judge has ordered Coley, her name is Lily Coley, to pay the attorney fees for Jay-Z's lawyers. And of course, this is the latest move that comes after Coley asked the federal judge for an emergency restraining order after attorneys for Jay-Z stated they were moving forward to ask the court to penalize her over what has been described as decades of harassment. I get it. But, with all the money in the world Jay-Z has, my question is, I mean, should he let this one ride and just
Well,
do it as
here's
a warning? Should he just be
no, here's the thing with that. A the quick answer is no, I don't think he should let it ride for a lot of reasons. Um, because you got to stop people, and this is a deterrent. This should act as a deterrent. You got to stop people from filing frivolous suits against you just because you're a billionaire, you're a celebrity, or whatever. You got to take a stand. But the other side of this is, and I don't know, maybe you know the answer to this. Jay-Z appears to have had relations in the past before Beyonce or wherever with this man, this young man's mother. And there's a lot of people who say that he looks like Jay-Z. He's claiming Jay-Z is his dad. A simple paternity test. Just do a paternity test if he hasn't done it already. I don't know if he's ever done the paternity test.
Well,
Why are you hiding from a paternity test if you are indeed hiding from a paternity test?
Well, I mean, I think they're past that now. Like he's even beat the son in the paternity testing. I see
Okay,
what
so
you're saying, but they're past that now.
No, I understand that.
Yeah.
That's the origin of this. And when I'm asking you, and you seem to be saying that they did do a paternity.
No. I said they're
Oh, okay.
past that. Like he won that battle in court as well.
Well, how did he win the battle without a paternity test?
I mean, maybe he has good lawyers.
Yeah, but that's
now
sad.
That's the
I
guy.
think there was a paternity test, and I don't remember what the results are.
Let's see if it was.
But here's something else that I thought about. The first thing that came to my mind of him being awarded this and it's being ended. Like, imagine going this long thinking that this man was your father, and then now you have to say he ain't. You know what I'm saying? Like, this man is an adult now.
Yeah.
And he doesn't know who his father is.
He's the one victim in this whole thing. Jay-Z could be a victim too if he's not this kid's father and having to have gone through this, especially as a married man. Then that makes Jay-Z a victim in this as well. Maybe the boy's mother lied to him and had him believe in this.
Or maybe she slept with multiple people.
Well,
and she didn't know who he was.
And it's easy to say that billionaire's your dad.
Right.
I mean, there is obvious reason.
Right.
There's obvious they resemble each other. He does have some qualities, physical qualities that you can attribute to Jay-Z.
Mm-hmm.
But that's why I'm wondering, did they ever do a paternity test?
It says no. Jay-Z has never taken a public or court.
See, that's a problem.
Yes, to address the claims.
It's a problem.
He has constantly denied the allegations, and his legal team has used various legal motions to have the case dismissed.
And so that to me says that Jay-Z is wrong too. And because here's the thing, You are you obviously are not saying that you didn't have relations with this woman. You obviously are not saying that. You obviously are admitting that you did, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know, unless it came during your marriage to Beyonce, which could be,
Which it
you know,
wasn't. It wasn't.
which it wasn't. Okay, so why not say, okay, let's put it into this? Why not? Why didn't he ever say, let's put it into? I remember when that started and that was going on, and he's just like, why is he avoiding, you know, a paternity test? Now, there's a lot of excuses that people made, and some of them seem to be valid. But after a while, it's like, okay, once and for all, dude, let's straighten this out. It's like 50 Cent. We criticize 50 Cent for how he handled his son publicly, but this right here, Jay-Z should have obliged this young man, not the mother, but the young man, with the paternity test to say, hey,
I think
it
that's
is what it
fair.
is.
That's totally
Yeah.
fair.
Yeah.
Because it's not about, you know, like you said, it's him going through his life, you know, having people, including his godmother, apparently, saying that's your dad, you know, he's doing you wrong. You know, just imagine what he's heard all his life, not knowing, you know,
Right.
and his mother knows more than anybody, and probably the godmother, because she was there and she saw, you know. So yeah, the person that is to really blame for more, and I wouldn't say blame, but the mother has really the answers, and she has, you know, led this charge. So maybe she thinks Jay-Z's the father, maybe because they kind of have, like, let's look at the picture. Do they look alike? I mean, they do kind of look alike.
And well, Southbound brings up a good question too on the mother.
Do they look alike though? Do they look alike?
Yeah, there's resemblance there in my eyes anyway.
I see resemblance.
Yeah. But Southbound asks a good question. Why the mother never filed for child support, which would have gave her a chance for a paternity test? That's a good question.
No, is she? I thought she was from the Caribbean or something.
Look nothing like somebody he would have had at the time. I'm just saying.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I mean, I see features. You know, he looks like
a word
he looks like a little bit like Blue Ivy. That could be Blue Ivy's brother. Look at him again. It could be Blue Ivy's brother.
Oh, okay. I don't know what their kids look like. I've never paid attention to people's kids.
Blue Ivy's brother. You know.
Look at that picture.
So, you know, that could be his brother.
And it could be. And here's the other part. You know, it could be that this was all a ruse all along, and the young man went along with it, knowing that Jay-Z's not his father. It could be that too.
But he was a little boy when all this started, right? He wasn't.
Yeah,
when it started.
No, but here's the thing. Come on, at whether if he was 8, 9, 10 years old, he knew who Jay-Z was.
Greer, Dr. Marilyn is asking, what does the mother look like?
That's a good question.
We want to compare. But
I've seen the mother.
Paul says,
I can't confirm this could be her picture. I mean, let's imagine that 20
years like Roxanne Shante.
Right.
But come on, my G. Come on.
DNA test. Nancy Wall says DNA test should show it. And then she says, with 3 exclamation points, ask Kirk Franklin.
Gosh.
And she says, I thought this was always the first step, paternity test, capital Y. Are you hiding? That is the question. So
Southbound said he looked like Usher.
Yeah.
Usher's been known to.
And Usher likes older women. Okay.
And Usher likes older women. Right. There you go.
He does. I just don't know if if she was going bankrupt, she ain't got 120,000. So just.
Well, like I said, if this is all something that Jay-Z 100% feels like it's shakedown, just like he went after that attorney Busby, that I can't blame him. I can't blame him because you have to set deterrence. You got to say, listen, because people to this day, people say, oh, they kept going after, Michael Jackson or whatever. You never set a deterrent. If that's the case, if you are innocent, set a deterrent. But as much as people have criticized Bill Cosby, he refused to settle with anybody. Refused, flat out refused. He felt You got to set a deterrent. When without going too much into that, but celebrities, I feel like if they are innocent, they gotta put their foot down. Cardi B does it all the time, right? Cardi B's like, come on, let's go to court.
Tasha K, I'm coming for you, Tasha K.
And she said, she said, run me my money. And she's not playing. She doesn't stop. So you don't hear all these frivolous lawsuits against Cardi anymore, right? Because Tasha K is living proof that you don't want to go down that road.
Right. All right, well, we got one more story to get to. Sad news, but it's kind of like a lest we forget. Dr. Gladys West, the mathematician whose groundbreaking work helped make modern GPS technology possible, has died at the age of 95. Now, her work became the foundation of GPS technology that's now used globally. Her legacy lives on. Every time we navigate a road map, board a plane, or use our smartphones, it's because of Dr. Gladys West. So she passed away yesterday or day before yesterday. So just wanted to make sure that we acknowledged her because it's like, why don't we have a technology company? Because GPS got rid of the Thomas guy. She created the new Thomas guy.
At 95 years old, what a long life, and what a legacy she leaves.
Right, hidden figures. That's another hidden figure.
Yeah, that is great. I'm glad you brought that up. I gotta say the one last thing, because Dr. Mel says when he's talking about Usher, she says, "Well, never mind. I heard that he had the gift that keeps giving. I'm good." See, they talk about you, Niele. They be going in on people.
They do. I get it from them.
No, I think it's the other way around. You stirred the pot. Nancy Wall says they thought they started a GPS. They stole it and patented it like everything else. Yeah. That's like you said, a hidden figure. She shouldn't have been a hidden figure. Right? None of them should have been hidden figures.
Right.
All right. So some black facts.
Let's do it.
On this date in 1838, folks, 1838, James Weeks found himself a free black man when slavery ended in New York State in 1838. He purchased land from another free black man named Henry C. Thompson. This sale established the beginnings of a thriving, self-sufficient African-American enclave in Greer's town of Brooklyn called Weeksville. The African-American Registry acknowledges January 20th, 1838 as its founding date. Slaves escaping from the South found a home in Weeksville. And for blacks in New York, it was the safest place in the city to have a quality of life away from racism. How about that?
Wow, that's dope.
How about that? Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, Brooklyn. There
it is right there. Right there.
Brooklyn, the bridge is over, RNG says. Yep.
I mean, just think about all of the lands that, we could have occupied and, where we are today. It's crazy, which brings us to our next Black fact. I'm going to fast forward to 1971, where Marvin Gaye's iconic song, What's Going On, was released today, making it a significant shift in his career and Motown's music by introducing socially conscious themes. Now, the single reached number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100 and number 1 on the R&B chart, paving the way for the critically acclaimed album that would come out later.
Yeah, and that speaks to today. And as I said before, the amazing thing about that is that Marvin challenged Berry Gordy, who did not want that song released. He didn't want Marvin to do the song. He challenged him and he said he would put everything on the line. And Barry said, okay, it's on you and only on you. And they released that song to great success. As you said, It went to number 1 on the R&B charts. But more importantly, it became the anthem of that time. and it could be the anthem today. What's going on, Niele?
Yeah, what's going on? Like, if there would be no there would be no We Gonna Be All Right by Kendrick Lamar, probably, if there wasn't no What's Going On.
How about
that socially conscious vibe. And we need more artists like that to speak to the times. Like, who's out, that could speak to the times? I mean, other than Kendrick Lamar, maybe Jay-Z, maybe, or is he too rich now?
Yeah. Jay's got too much money.
Yeah, I think Nas could do it. I think Nas could do it.
Oh, well, yeah, that's his lane.
Yeah,
that's
Nas
his lane.
definitely could do it.
Yeah, but this is when we need a Tribe Called Quest again.
R.I.P. Five Dog. Yeah, Tribe Called Quest would be good. Yeah, they could put something out.
Yeah.
But yeah, what about a female rapper?
Oh, well, Queen Latifah, MC Light.
Okay, so let's fast forward to the female MCs that are out today. I'm talking
Today?
about Cardi B, Sexy.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's not this.
Glorilla, Meg the Stallion.
Not this space.
You got JT and Young Miami. You
think
Nicki Minaj. Who put something out that crew?
Nicki gonna put out I Love Trump song soon, but none of them.
Yeah, unfortunately not.
Yeah, I can't see it. I can't see it. I'm not saying that none of them are talented enough. I just don't see that in their repertoire.
First of all, they have to put on some clothes.
Okay. Now, while that might be true, there's a fan base that don't want that to happen.
Right. Michelle Madison said MC like Glorilla TLC. Are you talking about like a combo? That'd be interesting. Each one.
TLC is not necessarily a rap, wasn't necessarily a rap group, although Left Eye did do some rap. But
their rapper passed away.
Yeah, but she's right. They would have been another one. I mean, they did. I mean, look at Waterfalls was something different, but it was an anthem too. I mean,
it was socially conscious.
Socially conscious is what I'm trying to say about. Exactly.
Yeah, it was.
But
we haven't had a conscious. I mean, in terms of mainstream, a conscious female MC, as I'm thinking about it, is Lauryn Hill, who, as much as I love Light, you know what I mean? I got it.
Lauryn Hill, you just hit the nail on the head.
Lauryn Hill, in my opinion, of the greatest female MCs of all time, she is that.
I agree. And then, like, when you said that, I thought of like Rhapsody, and it's another one, but they just don't get the notoriety because they're conscious, because they wear clothes.
Right. There are a bunch of MCs that could totally do it.
They just don't.
But they don't have the notoriety. If we're talking about notoriety, I think Lauryn Hill, in terms of notoriety and the range of content that she's produced over her career, she has the notoriety and she has the skill.
The ability, she has the ability to deliver. She may not have the ability to show up
on time. Now she gonna show up, just not on time.
But she
has gotten better. She has gotten better.
Because I tell you what, I put Miseducation as a top 3 album of all time.
Oh, Salt and Pepper
right.
was
now. This isn't an MC, even though she MCs from time to time on her projects. It's Erica. Yes, she could totally do a project like that.
Yeah.
She could do a whole. That's the difference too. She could do an entire project like that, and it would be so incredible.
What I mean? When we were in college, we would go to like one of Renard's apartment. This was our Grambling days, and Erica would just beat on the wall and make a beat, and just flow. Like before she was a singer, she was an actress, she was a rapper. We would be just walking and she would just start making up songs about, somebody that I was talking to, when we was messing with the boys from Detroit. You know, just very like off the cuff. Just we be sitting in the union and it's just like, and then just go off. So to your point, people don't they underestimate her skills.
When I think about that, I mean, I've seen maybe Cardi do this, and I don't know if she professes to be able to do this, but of the current, you know, lyricists, I think, who has the ability to do a freestyle for real? Like freestyling ain't like it used to be. You know what I mean? Freestyle was a real, like, you knew that person was born to freestyle because they just had it. And I don't know that, like, you know, they have it like that.
I think Glorilla can. Glorilla for sure.
She
Cardi B, you know, it's still debatable if she writes her raps. So I don't know if she necessarily has a freestyle ability. But she does have a delivery.
Oh, Remy Ma. Remy Ma,
yeah, Remy Ma.
Remy, definitely.
And low key, Nicki Minaj. You know, like if we're just talking about the art,
100%.
Yeah, if we're talking, I say low key because nobody likes her. But if we're talking about just art, Nicki Minaj.
Nicki. I forgot all about Nicki.
She goes off.
Nicki she's one of those other ones, extremely gifted, and I would absolutely put her on the level of Lauryn Hill when it comes to that.
Yeah, she goes off.
Well, Dr. Mallon said the industry, to your point, doesn't want to be conscious. Men write these ladies' lyrics now. That's why they are so vulgar.
Yeah. But some of them are vulgar on their own.
Yeah, I believe that too. RNG says Erica doesn't age at all. She is still very young looking. Oh, Dr. Mallon brings up Eve.
Oh yeah, Eve. Yeah, Eve was good. Yeah, yes. Eve, what they do? Yes, Eve.
Yes.
I loved Eve. Rough Rider during our Rough Rider days. Eve. Now she living her soft era life. You know.
Yeah. She marry a billionaire from Europe.
Yeah, she's living in castles and, you know, eating crumpets. She's not, you know, she doesn't dabble with us too much anymore. But she still has it because she'll pop out on stage every now and then, you know, and she still keeps it 100 too. I don't want to give the illusion that. But,
okay, well, the real Roxanne is RNG saying, I'm surprised he didn't say his crew. His girl,
JJ Fad.
JJ Fad.
When we were talking about, okay, I'm not going to, RNG, my friend, I don't want to get mad at.
Listen, RNG takes it with a grain of salt. He'll tell you in a minute.
I'm just teasing.
He ain't tripping. But nonetheless,
RNG, I want you to know that I abandoned that mission that I called you about. And no shade, I still love you, but I abandoned that mission that you didn't call me back on. So I mean, we good though.
Oh yeah, RNG getting into trouble. Good now.
Well, I called him and I sent him a text message. I was like, you know, I need to make some gumbo, and you know, if I don't do this, I just want you to. If I don't do well with this, I just want you to know, as my friend, that you know I'll resent you. I tried to lay it on heavy.
Right.
He didn't even listen. He didn't even hit me back when I said, "Oh, I hope his wife didn't see that."
Oh my God!
Hilarious.
Well, he did say there will be no JJ Fad slander. Oh, he says he has a new phone number, Greer. He blocked us. He said I can't take no calls from Let It Be Known. He says I'm done taking calls from Let It Be Known.
Yeah. Oh, but one person that they did bring up, Salt and Pepper, they brought out a lot of socially conscious songs too. I could think of like Express Yourself. You gotta be you and only you, babe. That's the thing about rap. They rapped about so many different things. It wasn't just booty, booty, shake, shake, pow, pow, bang, bang. It was, you know, baller.
Can you repeat that?
Baller. You know, it's like the topics of discussion were so vast and wide, and it's just so narrow now.
Yeah, narrow is right.
So yeah,
right.
so that's my 2 cents.
So Greer, RNG inboxed you his new number. So what do you think, pop?
Don't forget Baller. That's the Baller. And all because of Marvin Gaye. Take it back to the center.
Yes.
Marvin Gaye and What's Going On. You know, we still get one of those songs from today's music every now and then. Okay, before we end, what's the song of today that's socially conscious that's out that everybody's listening to? From a today artist.
It got to be something from Kendrick, right?
And Kendrick hasn't dropped an album since what, 2 years ago?
Oh, okay. Oh. Well,
see?
All right. Well, nonetheless, Southbound. But Southbound brings up a point that we probably should wait till tomorrow to address because we're out of time. But he says, why do blacks in the rap industry get upset when one say another person wrote that rap, but never in country music? In fact, they praise it. Are we that nervous? That's a great question. I'm telling you right now. It's a great question.
Really?
I think it's a great question because listen.
I mean, I think it's a great question, but I'm processing what I think because I have mixed, I have.
Well, here's the thing with that. Real quick, how am I thinking about it? Maybe I'm not thinking about it the right way. It's like so many great artists, and I'm talking about pop music now. Michael, not Prince. Prince wrote his own stuff, but everybody else, Springsteen, all those guys, Madonna, somebody else wrote their songs, their hit songs, right? And they don't have a problem with that. In fact, the Grammys, one of the biggest Grammys was the Songwriter of the Year.
Right,
but
I think
they have a problem with it.
But see, let's go back to the core. Right? Let's go back to the core and the essence of hip hop. It was rap battles on the street, right. And the way you got your street cred is how you came off the top of the dome. Yeah. And so, from that standpoint, that's the difference. Now today, if you're going in the studio and you working with people, hip hop has evolved into that. But one of the foundations of hip hop from back in the day was off the top of the dome. Did you hear what he said? That was cold-blooded, man. But that was what hip hop was. And so I think that's the difference. But today it's different because people write people's raps all the time. But that's why Nicki Minaj would go so hard on other female rappers because she was like, bitch, my pen is cold-blooded. You got people writing your raps. And that's what Nicki was all about. That's why she felt she was the illest, because her pen was cold.
Well, I'm cold. I'm going. We got to get out of here. I'm cold. I got to put a coat on. I got to go outside in the snow.
Oh, it's sunny in California. So I'll have some sunshine for you.
Oh boy, send some of that heat.
We will send it your way. And for the latest in Black news, and you want to know and keep up what's happening with headlines from all across the country, head over to BlackPressUSA.
Have a great day.